Hey, I'm Kerwin Frost. Thank you for tuning in for part 2 of the interview with Luka Sabbat, my best friend. We're back here at the Chateau Marmont. Back at the Chateau.
We're still at the Chateau.
We're still at the Chateau. We've been here all along.
At the Chateau.
Marmont.
On Sunset.
So Luka. So.
What were you doing? When did you start Spaghetti Boys?
When did I start Spaghetti Boys? Whoa.
Yeah, let's get into it, because you want to talk about my first job. Let's talk about.
So I had with Spaghetti Boys, I think even before I had a following, I wanted to start kind of this platform that could have everything I'm into, and it be less about me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the idea for it, and it came from the name came from this documentary I saw on mobsters. It was Cocaine Cowboys. And there's this 5-second part where they're like, oh, the Spaghetti Boys are like the 3 guineas from New York, like they were hired hitmen. So but that just stuck to me, and I like that name. It had nothing to do with the food. I was just very into mob movies at the time.
Yeah.
So I started that, and then when I was in Harlem, there was a spot where I would chill. It was called the Lennox Ledges, and this kid named Ray, he moved to Harlem, and I met him there on the Ledges, and he was this punk rock kid from Kansas. But we just kind of hit it off. It was I wanted a DJ, so it was gonna be merch for me DJ, even though I hadn't DJ'd anything yet. You know what I mean? But we were gonna put out zines and these photo books and all this stuff under Spaghetti Boys. And I think Mike the Ruler has the first ever printed Spaghetti Boys piece, and there was a Z at the end of the boys, and it was on the back of this denim jacket, and it was a photo of spaghetti, and it said it over it, and it was that was the first time I was fuck, don't use the food.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it so fucking epic. So we took out that. I think it grew more as all right. So our first project was with Theophilus London, who I had met on Instagram when I barely had a following.
This is prior to the whole yeah. Actually, no, I'm retarded. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I met him, and we kind of just hit it off, and I was like, yo, it would be so funny if we did this this party where I DJ'd and the Office London performed, and it was gonna be called Changes, because at the time, I don't know if you remember, I had the Changes show, because during that time it was all of our point of transition, and you would hear wow, you changed.
Wow,
so,
you changed.
Yeah, and then the way I would respond, I was just I would always have coins on me, or yo, did you see the receipt? You changed, bitch. And but this kind of that play on word. So
I would not, because you actually gateway perfectly to the next question. I was gonna ask you about the Changes show, because actually the other day, so crazy. I walk into the Balthazar, the restaurant. The girl whose space that was, works at Balthazar.
Wow, what?
So
As a waitress?
No, a main manager or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't done talking. You interrupted me.
Wait, no. But my question is Changes was a photo show.
It became that.
Okay.
So we needed this venue, and back in the Soho days, you could just walk in Soho and then find someone who has a gallery. And I just thought that would happen, so I was walking, and Harif Guzman was closing the Soho Arts Club, or something was going on, so we couldn't use the Soho Arts Club how we were using it for every other thing we were doing. or he wouldn't give it to me yet because I didn't have enough followers yet. Because it was the cloud exchange. So, but we were close with Frank Shop, and the owner, classic dirtbag, like, but also amazing person. I ran into him and I was like, yo, I want to do like this party. And he's like, oh, like I know a guy who has a gallery. Fuck. And, and he takes me to meet this guy, and then they open up the gates in the LES, like across the street from that skate park.
Like under the train and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
and it's this huge fucking white space. And he's like, yeah, you can have this. And I'm like, okay. All right, well, we got to fill it with something. So then that week I was like, you know what? Like, we're photographers for the week. So I started taking photos, and it was to fill this gallery space and not have it empty. And I was catching the gnarliest shit. So I would like, I met with Ham Preston and took like weird foot fetish photos of him with like one shoe off. But then I would meet with like random chicks and get like dumb weird photos with them, like this chick flashing construction workers, or like in Harlem there was this crime scene at 5 a.m. and somebody got shot. I like got that, and like me and Ray really didn't know how we were gonna like get these, but he worked at 8 Ball Zines, who were like the king of zines before No Wave in New York, and so he knew that you could just go to Kinko's and get like these huge like paper prints. So this is all in a week's time of like figuring out what we're gonna fill it with, like how we're gonna do this. So I'm like scheduling a shoot every single day, and then we got this gallery space, and then the day before. And I think this was like the first time I really like got respect for you, because it was like one of the sweetest things that like you got. It was like the first time you ever did something like extremely
like the proper,
sweet.
And
we were all in this gallery space. It was me, Mike the Ruler, Austin, and you and Ray, and that was it. And it's this like white gallery space.
Sleeping on the floor. Like no pillow,
nothing. Just sleeping on the bare floor
like
in the
actual
LES.
concrete floor.
Before hours before the show, I think at night, you stayed up at night.
Me and Michael put up the print.
You were like completely deciding where to display every single photo, and I was freaking out, and we didn't know anything about press, so there was no press. We didn't know that was an essential thing. So, and Austin hung up all his jeans on a wall, because it was before he was in Spaghetti Boys, and it was like, let's just do something like that. So he hung up like all these jeans he like drew on, and we hung that up on the wall, and we had all these photos, and it was fire. Theophilus London did a cover of Tupac Changes, and that was the first Spaghetti Boys project. There was no press about it, but that was just like, all right, well, this is what it is now.
But wait, wasn't there like this weird photo booth with something with Jewel? Remember they were giving out Jewel?
Oh, yeah. So the owner of the gallery got like Jewel to be a sponsor for it. And I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because it was before people had jewels. And
way before, this is like
they just had a booth and they were just giving them out for free, like to everyone.
They're like, hey, I hope you like these, dude.
Yeah.
And then remember they were like trying to work with us or something?
Yeah.
And then we were mad pretentious and young.
But we dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah. We were like, Jewel, what would we smoke? E-cigarette? Like we smoked cigarettes. Fast forward 2019, it's like the biggest company.
So that was the first project. I think but I didn't want to start Spaghetti Boys even though like my following was growing during this time, being in this circle of kids, and but more on the fashion side. It was more on taking like fit photos, which is like cool, but like Spaghetti Boys wasn't supposed to be about clothes, but that's what people wanted to see. So, but I didn't want to drop a full collection of something because I didn't fully understand. I knew I didn't understand.
I still have that ringer too, by the way.
Yeah. I didn't. Well, that wasn't even. Oh, what, the Changes one? I don't even have that. I didn't fully understand the manufacturing business. I didn't understand. There's a lot of things that people don't tell you about how to start a brand.
Yeah.
And you learn that when you go through the fucking like shithole. It's the shit that you don't see on the gram. It's the how to make it in America shit where like you get fucked over by the person making your shirts, and you gotta like release them next week, or like, you know, people don't tell you about this. So like there's a lot that I didn't know. But I knew I didn't know. So I didn't want to just go out and drop a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
It's like we gotta come out strong. I might be like jumping some hoops, but I'm just gonna tell it as I remember it. People knew that we were like the New York kids. Heron Preston had reached out to me to help do packaging at Easy Season 1.
And that was crazy.
That was huge because you were flexing it, and it was like, fuck, damn, that's so cool. It was like, but we got in the room in a different way.
Yeah.
We were like Kanye's little elves. So it was like me, Heron Preston, Arthur Carr, Austin, all like packaging these like Yeezy invites, which were, what was it? What was the first thing? It was the jackets.
Yeah,
it was the green jacket. No, was it?
No.
No, it was the white. Was it the white? Yeah, it was. It was the white. I don't know what the name. The tie. The scientists use it when they, you know.
Not the windbreaker. You're talking.
It was a white windbreaker.
Okay, yeah, and it was vacuum sealed.
Yeah. So we were vacuum sealing it while like Ye is there and everything, and I think that's how I met Virgil for the first time. Was there, and you know, he fucked with us. So we were like, I really wanted to, because you know I've been obsessed with like the OG shit when I was even a newcomer, and I was like, yo, it would be so cool to get a Ben Tro collab, because to me, like, kind of one of the reasons I started Spaghetti Boys was I saw Ben Tro perform at Fool's Gold Day Off in 2013, 2012, and it was Matthew Williams, Heron, Jown, and Virgil all DJing, but they were terrible. And I was in the crowd as a kid seeing them, like, but they were all wearing matching outfits. They did such a terrible job. But to me, that was so cool. Because they were like tugging wires and making it look like they were doing something. Travis Scott came out and performed to do Quintana, but they kept playing the wrong version of the song. So Travis Scott just got angry and threw the mic on the floor and like walked off stage. But it was like, seeing that set, I was like, wow, I want that. Like, that's like so funny. So I reached out, I got on my like Cindy Lou and the Grinch, and started like interviewing each of them separately, like pulling up on them. So like, what's going on with like Ventro, all this. And my initial thing that I wanted, he had Off-White at the time. It was to get the Ventro collab with Spaghetti Boys.
Yeah.
And then Virgil was like, yo, let's just do Off-White.
Yeah. That Off-White had just started though.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
And he was just down. And I think we were like one of the first collabs he did. And he gave it to us without even having proof of concept. He just believed we could do it.
Yeah.
And so we did him, Heron Preston, and Ass Pizza. And the capsule was called Horror Disco. And it was supposed to be dropped on Halloween with a party. Anyways, dropped that. It did great. It was fire. We were able to put a Casper the Friendly Ghost on an Off-White tee, which was like ironically sick and just cool. And we did that, and then we had a couple drops. We had a couple drops, but they were like short drops, so it never fully had its like first drop. And I think that was basically that. We kind of like went furthermore with the brand, but it never fully hit. Austin was always in and out of the group. Yeah. Because he would just get angry at some random shit all the time. Just like, all right, I quit. And that was like it. And it was like, oh, all right. And then eventually, I don't know.
Well, but there's more to that story, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Damn, that's crazy. I remember like when I was flexing the Yeezy Season 1 shit, because I was the first male model there. And then I was like the fit model. I remember seeing you guys walk in. The initial moment you walked in.
Yeah.
Because it was right next to the Adidas store, right?
Yeah.
Broadway, between Houston and like Bleecker or something. And you guys walked in, I was like, oh, what are they doing? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I had Air Force Ones with duct tape over the check with 3 stripes I drew on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You did, and Kanye freaked out when he saw those. He was like, that's hard.
Yeah.
Where else did I see the duct tape on the Air Force Ones? Velum show.
That was a pretty crazy time. And then after the show, you were like known as this model.
Yeah, I mean, by then I had a little following, like, it was picking
Not a
up.
big following at that time.
In relative, yes.
Yeah.
Like, not that many people had that much followers at the time, but it wasn't like a crazy amount. But like, for New York, for like in the, like we said in the first interview, in that scene of like all those like New York groups, that was huge.
Yeah.
And then like the biggest flex I could get at that time was being in that show. And remember, like, I was never tall enough to like really walk I didn't do shows. That was my first show, period.
People would tell you that you were too short to walk in shows.
Yeah.
It's such a crazy concept to hear, like, you're too short to walk in a show. Like, I could wear heels.
That's true. But I don't know, with like men's fashion, it's like, I'm like, what, 5'10", 5'11"? I mean, then I was shorter than I am now. And
now
I'm
you're
still
like 6'2".
Yeah, I'm 6'2". I'm going on 6'3". And then so I was just psyched to be part of a show, period. Yeah. That was so sick. I think that's where I met. That's where I met Jound, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had no clue. He was like kind of like a mythical person. Like I knew he existed, but I didn't know who he was or what he did.
Yeah.
Cause like you were super into Ventura, like you knew the ins and outs of it. I liked it and knew about it, but like I had never been to a set.
Right.
I just liked like seeing what they did and like, didn't they do Coachella?
They did do Coachella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that shit with the all camo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I met Jan, and I was like, but I didn't know it was him till like way after the Yeezy show. It was mad weird.
True. Yeah, that show changed a lot for everyone, I think.
That was a pivotal moment for like streetwear and like into like the streetwear fashion, like merging into what it is now, I think. I'm trying to think of when I started a hot mess.
That was way later. That was probably 3 years later.
Yeah, that was like 2016, right? Or 17. 16. I started in 16, but I think I had my first show.
Do you feel like Hot Mess was like?
Hot Mess was my Spaghetti Boys and some shit.
Yeah.
The same way you're like, but that was when I like fast forward on some shit like I just realized I just said like.
Yeah, it's alright. We say like a lot, alright?
Alright, we're sorry.
Yeah, we say like.
Leave us alone. How about you listen to the interview?
Yeah, and leave a like on the interview.
Yeah, drop a like. Wait, what?
You started Hot Mess.
Oh, yeah.
And for you, that was your Spaghetti Boys. Because you were seeing how I had it as a project, but then you were like, I like kind of want that too.
But it was also on some like, with the I think at that time I was like, kind of scared. Because the thing is with male modeling, like.
It's a little intense.
It's a little intense.
Fuck!
What is that?
The door? Yes, come later, please.
Sorry, no.
That's okay.
No problem lah. No,
that's alright.
Maybe.
Like in 2 hours?
Yeah, 5.
5 hours.
5 o'clock.
Okay, 10 hours.
It's the lady that comes and gives you water.
Yeah. Sure.
You had water in like a bucket of ice.
Shooting at the shout-out.
Alright, so, Bedmisa. Fuck, say that whole thing again. I'm so sorry, bro. Hot Mess.
Okay, no. So, I was just talking about like how the male modeling industry.
Oh, it was intense.
Wasn't
scary.
Well, also like dudes have a way less, a way smaller like longevity. Like girls last way longer as models. Like
right.
Guys always they get pumped out real quick. Like
yeah,
they last like 2-3 years and then they're gone, right? So like I was super scared of that happening. I remember mad people telling me like, all right, so you model, but like, you know, how long is that gonna last? So
Really?
like,
People have said that to you?
yeah, and I was a kid. That's what's
That's
so
terrible.
fucked. Like I'm literally a kid.
Who said that to you?
Just like adults, like people, like makeup artists, be like, how long you been modeling for? And I'll be like, a year. It's like, well, okay, well, you know, you probably got another like 4 years.
Oh, that's so weird.
So it's like,
What?
yeah, I mean,
It makes it very like prostitution-y.
it's like, all right, we're gonna pay you to like come here and do what we want and like take your shirt off or like
Right.
walk,
Oh, he looks good.
I mean, you know, that's to like shine bad light on it, but sometimes it's sick. you know, like,
100%.
It's just like it's crazy. Sometimes you realize like how mean people in the industry are, or like how pretentious some people could be. So like I was like, man, fuck this modeling shit. Like I gotta have like a plan B.
something bigger. Not even a plan B. I feel like for you it was more your canvas. I mean, you just as a personality.
I just had ideas.
You have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And like even you saying it's your version of Spaghetti Boys, Hot Mess has its own aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's like shit you're genuinely passionate about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it's like, you know, I like modeling, I love clothing, I love like being a part of this because this is like such an awesome like just piece of my life. You spend so much of your time looking at clothes, so it's like I want to be a part of this. But then it's like I kind of want something with more substance, more substance to partner it.
1000%.
Like really be like, yeah, like I'm not just a model. I'm not just an image. You know, I'm not just a face. And I feel like Hot Mess was that for you.
1000%. And I also just wanted to, because I was a kid and I had so many ideas and like shooting, being a model, it's like being the canvas, but I like
You're part of someone else's.
Yeah, but I wanted to be the painter type shit. So like I was like part of all these shoots was like, man, I want to do my own shoots.
Right.
So then I remember like, you know, I mean the classic story, you've heard it a million times, but
Yeah,
like,
tell it again.
you know, on Twitter I follow Noah. I'm like a fan of his work. And
The human tarantula.
Yeah. and he's a fan of my work, and then I DM him, and then he DMs me back, and I'm like, I think I was on vacation. Yeah, that was my first time coming. I had no reason to come here, like, and I had saved money for a flight.
To LA?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is before I ever stayed at the chateau.
Damn, this is the first trip.
Yeah, this is the first trip to LA. Like,
You saved money to come here.
yes.
Wow.
I saved a bunch of money to come here. And I stayed at my godfather's place.
Right.
In Tarzana. Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace.
And then it was just like, and then I DM'd, and then Noah like quit his job, and then he dipped.
So, okay, you DM this random kid who you've never met.
Complete stranger. No, don't know him.
And you just love his work. You find his work somehow.
On Twitter, I think he had like 2,000 followers or something.
Insane. You just reach out to him and he's like, yo, let's work.
Yeah, I'm like, I was going through the DMs are super, like the ideas at the time when you read them on paper is super cringe. It's like, yeah, I have like a sick idea for a shoot. It's like a girl like smoking a cigarette and it's like blurry.
This is what you said?
Yeah. Or like,
Oh my God, you son of a bitch.
and it's like, or it's like this couple in a car like wearing leather jackets. You know what I mean? Like, but
You were in the mood.
yeah. But I mean, at the time, like, as a 17-year-old, that shit was sick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even the fact that I came through with it, like, so this is the part that, like, you know, they know about how me and Noah met, but they don't know about the process of the whole shit. So Noah spends like his last like fucking like $200 because he was like a grocery bag boy, I think, and he gets on a flight, and then he gets here, right? And he's a complete. We've never met. I barely followed this man for more than 5 days. By the way. And I'm like, yo, where are you at? He's like, I'm at the airport. Like, I was just gonna sleep here.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, dude, like, I don't have anywhere to stay. Like, I was just gonna sleep at the airport every night.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, come here. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, and then so I asked my godfather, like, Dorian, I was like, yo, do you mind if my friend comes and sleeps here for the next few days? He's like, yeah, for sure. Like, blah, blah. Like, do you know him? I was like,
Yeah.
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 And then I told him that he's a complete stranger, but he just trusted me, which is why he's sick.
Right.
Fully invited a full-blown stranger from Durango, Colorado to sleep in his house.
Right.
Could have been a maniac, could have been a psycho, could have been a killer. And we slept in the garage. We like set up these like air mattresses, and then we like he had his camera equipment, and I had nothing. And that's how I kicked it off. Like when we realized like our work ethic was like super powerful together. Like
what are like some of the craziest like fan experiences you've had? Because I feel like you have like some of the craziest stories. You're just kind of put yourself out there a lot, so I feel like it happens to you more. And you're kind of good at handling them, probably more than I would be.
I have like weird fan interactions. Mine are like, they're pretty classic, but since you're such a like a comedic and accessible figure and like so friendly and like, I feel like you have the craziest fans.
Yeah, sometimes it kind of feels like that, and I like, it's not that I don't like it, I just kind of like get confused sometimes as to like, why not you? And why me?
What you mean?
Just why me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it'll be so intense. Like me and Aaron will go to Coachella, and like this girl runs up and she's like, "Let me just say, I love what you guys have." And Aaron literally has to like Devo this bitch and be like, "Yo, don't touch him," like, or like. We're like watching a concert, and this dude is like, "Yo, Kerwin, it's so nice to see you. Like, let's get a photo." And I'm just like, "Come on, guys. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Kerwin talks. Like, it could be calmer. Sometimes it's really sweet. I really do appreciate it when someone comes up like respectfully, and like not when I'm eating or at a concert or like obviously in a conversation with my wife, and like." Sometimes it's very, very intense. I don't know. Another thing is like, I'm such a New York character that like a lot of people who saw me at something will like see me in 5 years and just
that's what I would say here.
And that's like the worst. So like I did this DJ set for Palm Angels, and you were there in New York, and we're like, Aaron is pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, It's just me, Aaron, and then like some security guard they gave us, who's not doing anything, because like people think that they give the rapper the like serious security thing, and then like the DJ is like, no one's gonna run down on a DJ.
Yeah.
So I'm like setting up immediately, like this dude starts tapping my leg. He's like, "Yo, man, I remember I met you like 5 years ago in the LES. Like, we chilling over there, so like." When you want, like, just come over here, we'll smoke. I'm like, "Bro, I'm working. I don't know you. Get off my property.
Leave my wife alone."
Leave me alone." So it's like, then the next dude does the same thing. Then the next dude, Aaron is literally pushing these dudes back.
Aaron you were better at being the security than the security, which was crazy.
It was so
You were like
insane.
asking people to get off the stage.
It was so crazy. Because it just shouldn't be like that. Like, I don't know, like, people just don't think about it sometimes. It's like, I'm a normal fucking person. Like, I feel like more than the other people who are part of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just so easy to like just be natural. Like, I'm not gonna be mean, but just chill the fuck out. And like, and then this girl came up, and then she was like, "Oh, I remember like 4 years ago, we met. I don't know if you remember me. We met 4 years ago at this party, and there was no food there, and we put fried chicken in the microwave." I'm like, "Get away from me. I don't know you." So like, it does freak me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the thing with being from New York, because we were around so much of this shit. So like, there'll be all these like kids.
It's not even kids. I mean,
No, but,
we were like really in the
Kids
streets.
are even like grown ass people that are like, like
27.
"Yo, Luka,
Yeah.
remember I ran into you at the Mercer 4 years ago?"
I
I'm
own
like,
a hot dog marketing company now.
yeah, it's like,
We make mustard, high-end mustard.
yeah, it's called.
Why don't you come to my studio? We also make headphones.
Yeah, it's like, man, we're like people that feel like they know you Because there was maybe some point in your life many moons ago that you gave them a time a day.
Yeah.
But you never kept up. You never became friends.
No.
You never.
If we haven't talked in more than 8 months, I don't know you. All right? So anybody watching that, I don't know you if we haven't talked in 8 months. If we haven't talked in 8 months, I don't know you. Ooh-wee. What's up with your sex life?
Hmm?
Do you ever think you'll find true love? Or are you looking for it?
Man, that's the hardest part is trying to like settle down. I mean, you guys inspire me to have a baby. I want to have a baby so bad. You guys look like you're having a blast. That shit is sick. I mean, yeah, like, So my sex life is weird. You're probably the only person I could talk to about this too. But I don't know. I mean, I had my fair share of fun when I was in LA shooting Grownish.
Like you were having a lot of sex?
Huh? My fair share of fun.
Oh. Like sex?
No, just my fair share of fun.
Oh, like you guys were like playing on set.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk about that just because like that's one part of that's one part of my life the internet actually has no clue about.
About your love life?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a simple question.
My love life, we're working on it. We're working on it, I mean, it's so crazy that everybody around is like, everybody's relationship and having fun, and it's like, but it's also hard, like, I'd say for me, like, I mean, you guys have cracked the code of like, you guys are working together and shit, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are like a unit more than like a couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, with me, it's like, I'm always busy or traveling or working, and like, I guess trying to find someone that understands that, but also has time for me the same way I would have time for them. Because it's like, everybody's like, well, like, you should just go for like a regular girl, like you're around the scene, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that doesn't work, okay? Right. Like, it doesn't, like, ideally, I would love to find like some random chick that like fucking like works at a coffee shop.
Wait, why doesn't it work?
Because...
I'm just kidding. I know why it doesn't work. I mean, before I met Aaron, I went through a lot of the same things. And it's like you meet a normal girl and then or whatever normal girl is.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're all so complex. But it's like, one, there's that detachment. And then it becomes like, if you're like excited about something you're doing, you're like being like too like self-loathing or something. Yeah. When it's like, no, I'm just excited, I'm doing something cool.
I mean, I remember you like hated like every girl ever for a minute.
Yeah, well, it was just like, it's really hard. Yeah. And I don't think people would like know, yeah, you go through it. I mean, you haven't had like a relationship in a long time based off that and not being able, I mean, yeah, what would you say are some of the reasons? Like, would you say the same reasons?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, me, it's like, all right, so let's say I go for a regular girl, right? All right, it's cool, it's working, it's like, it's low key, it's tight, right?
Yeah, right.
I leave for 2 months for work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, do you want to come here? She's like, no, I have a job. I have to stay here.
Right.
And then you build that disconnect because it's like, it's two completely different lifestyles. In concept, it's nice when you have it there, but then they don't understand when you have to leave for 2 months. They don't understand when like you're not responding for a bit, or like being unresponsive. It's like, yo, I'm in Japan, right? I'm 14 hours ahead. Sorry, I didn't reply to your text.
Oh, that's a little aggressive coming from you.
Oh yeah, it's not being specific to a certain person or anything.
Oh, true.
This isn't a direct message to the person that might be watching. And it's like, it's super. It's also super cliche to like date but there's a reason why like models date models too. It's like, you know, it creature of habit type shit where it's like these people on the same schedule, like we're both going to Fashion Week.
That's not really real. That's like a.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean models date models.
True.
It's. I mean, I've seen it. I mean, not all of them do, but like the cliche comes from like, but.
Just being in the same world.
Yeah, being in the same world and like working in the same industry, like going to fashion weeks, traveling, this, that, the third. It's like the same type of shit. It's like you're gonna go with somebody that does the same thing as you because they understand it, and then you could kind of build off of that. It's like the only type of long distance relationship that kind of makes sense.
Right.
But then I also hate long distance because I hate texting people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you also have that phone plan that doesn't let you call long distance.
Hmm?
You can't afford to call long distance, right?
Yeah, no, I can't.
So that's also why?
Yeah, I have to use the hotel phones.
Not true. Speak your truth.
Speak your truth. That's true. But I don't know. I mean, you know, I hope I find someone. I mean, you know, I always think I find someone, and then it doesn't work out, or
they rip your heart out and they stomp on it.
And they go, poo, poo.
So was I being mean, or was I just being protective of my heart? I don't know. The choice is yours.
The choice is yours.
The choice is yours.
Pick your poison.
To pick your poison. Pick your poison. It's really crazy. You were there the day that me and Aaron met.
Wow.
Yeah. You were
That
there,
was
and I
cool.
don't think I've ever told the story to anyone.
Yeah. Do you want to tell it?
I mean, if you would like me to.
I mean, it's how you guys met.
Yeah. All right. All right. So I'd seen Aaron at a party, but I didn't really say anything, you know? And I just said hi to her. I didn't really know anything about her. She just looked super cool. And like a year later in New York, I was just like checking who saw my story, and I saw that she saw it, and I thought that she was pretty hot. So I had slid in her DMs, and then I said hey love, or something like that, which is like really cheesy. I just didn't know what to say, and I was like looking at my photos, and I was like, what would be something good that like if you saw my photo, like something that can match that. And just a message, so I just said, hey, love, which was weird.
Yeah, because that doesn't match anything.
No, I was like, oh, hey, love. And so I said, hey, love. And then I don't know what she responded. What was it?
LOL, hey.
Yeah, she said, LOL, hey. And so I waited till the next night. And
You waited. So you saw that and you waited till the next night.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell do you say to that? Like, oh, LOL, hey, what do you mean? Am I funny? Like, funny how? So, so I DM'd her the next day. And I was like, Aaron, I need your number. Like, I'm serious.
In that voice.
Yeah. Like, that's how I said it in my voice.
Yeah.
In my head. So then she sent her number, and I was on the train back from I don't know where. But I was on the 42nd Street train station, waiting for the 2 train to go back to Harlem, and my phone was running on Wi-Fi at the time, like just like audio. You could text someone on iMessage, or you can audio FaceTime them. And that was just I didn't want to have a phone, nor was I felt like I was ready to have one.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like being like kind of unreachable, but I knew where all the Wi-Fi spots were in New York.
Yeah, I remember there was even some train stations that had Wi-Fi.
Oh, I knew it all. I knew it all. So I immediately called Aaron on FaceTime audio, and then we started talking, and we kind of like just hit it off immediately, and we were talking for like an hour on the train. I'm on the train, and I was like, Aaron, I kind of have to get on the train now, so I'll call you when I go home. So got home. I think I either called her or like my Wi-Fi in my house was just fucked up, so we were just like texting for the rest of the night, and then we had agreed to meet the next day. So midday the next day we meet up. She like scheduled it so like she could see me while she was like running errands in Soho. So it would be like an hour worth of time that I could see her. And so I met her in Soho and we started talking, and you know this more than anyone, when you would see me in Soho, I would have like just always a bag of trinkets for some reason.
Yeah, brown paper bag of trinkets.
Yeah, so like what would be in there?
Cigarettes, like crumbled up cash, some coins, an iPhone 4, a charger, headphones.
So we start talking and walking, and we go to the park in front of La Esquina, which is that little triangle park, and we sit down, and I have my bag, and in there I have cassette tapes, and my cassette player, because during that time I was
Cassette phase, yeah.
Yeah, I was just obsessed with cassettes. And I was playing her like my favorite cassettes. Like I had that Astrid Gilberto cassette that was like fucked up and kind of haunted, that had different music on it, and I played like just a bunch of my cassettes. And I guess she was really into that, but it wasn't like a romantic thing in my head. I'm just like, look what I'm into. And we were just talking, and she was telling me about like herself, and then I was like what are you doing after this? And then she was like, she had got like, I guess these tickets to see the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight at like some building rooftop.
And for context, I ran into him at the park.
Yeah, well, I didn't get there yet, you son of a bitch.
Well, you're talking about the Conor McGregor fight.
So she was like, we're gonna go on a rooftop and watch it, just me and my mom. And I was like, yo, this isn't a flex, but I know this guy and he has a boat and he's showing the fight on a yacht. So we should go and check that out. And then she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, just bring your mom, like tell her to come through. And yeah, so, but you were in that park like a couple seats away on a date of your own, yeah.
But I was there before. I saw you walk into the park with Aaron, but the reason I didn't come up to you guys is that I have never, ever seen Kerwin with a woman, let alone a woman in public.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know
I'll
this.
give him head in like Drake.
Yeah. So I was like, I know this is way too rare.
Yeah.
Like, this must be a girl he likes, or that like he's trying to talk to. Like, I think I had texted you. Like, I was like, yo, bro, you.
Yeah.
Like, yo, look.
I had no Wi-Fi.
Yeah. But I pretend like, and then we had eye contact. I was like, but I don't even think I went over and said hi. I said,
no, I came up to you when we were leaving.
Oh,
when
yeah.
we got there, I was like, what are you doing here? So then we went to the fight on the boat. It was Dwayne's boat, and Pharrell was there, and there was like gambling, but like it was like sweet, and we had fun there. And after that, we went to Up and Down, which was at the time. At the time, it wasn't that bad. All right, it's not as bad as it is now. I would never step foot in there or One Oak ever, because it's so stupid. But it was cool because it was me on a serious. Look, bro, I have no money. All right, I have $0, right? But I'm like one of the most resourceful people. Like
1,000%.
1,000%. So I'm like, I have no money. We can go to this boat. I know there's gonna be food there. I know there's gonna be entertainment. Boom, bam, explosion. All right, I know if I take her to Up and Down.
Bottles.
Throttles.
Full throttle.
So as soon as I walked in, it's like the Goodfellas scene when they walk through the kitchen and go to the club. They just open the curtain. We go to the promoter's table. Nobody's there. The promoter's table, for people who don't know, is this one table they save for the promoters. And, you know, unlimited bottles. They bring these, like, dumb models there. And, you know, they get them drunk. But me and Luka, being the savants that we were, we knew those people because we would go there. We never paid for a drink in a club in our life. So we knew the finesse. So we walk in, they open the curtain. Me and Aaron are looking crummy. We're just wearing whatever, but we just walk in like kings. They escort us to the table. We're like just chilling. And then we start making out, of course. And then, yeah. And then,
Was your first time making out at Up and Down?
yeah, probably.
You kissed me the whole night.
Yeah, I tried to kiss her the whole night. She was.
got me drunk.
Yeah, and then I got her drunk.
Oh, you're like the promoter!
You proposed to me on the boat too. You
Yeah, I did. Yeah, on the boat I proposed to her, and I was like, will you marry me? And then she was like, dude, you're fucking crazy. And then I was like, I'm serious. All right? I'm serious, okay?
Okay.
And then, so anyways, after that we go to her place, of course, because I'm living in Harlem, like, you know.
Yeah, you're not about to.
What happened?
I asked to see your ID.
Oh yeah, Aaron thought I was 16 this entire time because I had made this fake Tom Sachs passport as a joke on my Instagram, and it said I was 15. And it was just a funny troll on the internet. It's like, if you really believe that I'm that young with like a face tattoo, and I'm like,
you deserve to believe that, because that's the
you deserve to believe it. So it became this rumor because Famous Birthdays did a cover on me on their website, and Famous Birthdays, they do like a biography type write-up on a person, and they say your age and where you're from. And it said I was from Kansas and that I was like 15, 16 at the time. I never confirmed or denied it because I don't give a fuck. That's like hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
Before we have sex, because we had sex, she was
We
like,
had a fair share of fun.
we had a fair share of fun. She was like, I need to see your ID. And then I was like, nah, I swear I'm not 16. I swear I'm not
So
16.
I had asked you before, and you had said like your real age, and then I asked you to see it, and you pulled up a picture of it on your phone.
Yeah, I pulled the
Because I was
picture
like,
on my
no, I'm
phone.
like really serious.
And I was like, nah, I swear. Take advantage. Take advantage, you little monster. So then we had our fair share of fun, and then after we did it, sex. After we had sex,
After you had a fair share of fun.
I was like, that was the first time I did anything like that. And then she just bursted out in tears, and I was laughing so hard, being the monster I was. And I was like, no, I swear. And then since that day, I honestly never left her house. Yeah, no, I never left her house, and it was crazy because it was the first time I really it was really beautiful because it was the first time I felt a connection that strong. And yeah, it's so rare to find that in the superficial world that we're thrown into.
1000.
You never find that. And I immediately, I'm someone who I know how to read people as soon as they meet them. Like within the first 5 minutes of talking to Aaron, I was like, damn, I could really spend the rest of my life with this person. And it was really that moment. And we were just living together for 3 months, and I was someone who like we said in the past interview, it was you could see me one day and I'll have tons of cash for some weird reason. I just figured it out, but then I'll just be broke. But in this case, I was just broke. So I just had $0. And I'm just like, yo, I gotta go home. And she's like, for what? And I was like, I just gotta go home. So I went home, and I was like, yo, I can't see you until I have money again. And then she's like, you're really fucking stupid. What are you talking about? So I was like, fuck, all right. So I came back, and we figured out ways to make money together and bond that together. I had a lot of because I knew how to just make money on my own, and in New York you can be broke, but she taught me how to have substantial, just be good. And even on top of that, we were just so eye to eye with where we were in life. She had just moved to New York and closed down her business, Shop Jean, which was crazy culture, captivating.
I remember so many people did Shop Jean. I remember going on Shop Jean's Instagram looking for cyber girls to DM.
Oh my god.
I would there's a few girls. Yeah, there was a few little Shabji girls I had to take
Shabji
down.
started Cyber Girls. They started the gels. They started the Buffalo sneakers. They started the choker wave. Like so much of that, because it took from so early. It took like Tumblr and completely added it to fashion. But not only that, it was like the first like dome of like this is where you go to like before V Files.
Yeah.
Like it was like, yeah. She started this business from like her college dorm, like reselling a Chanel bag, and then like investing that in her own business and like buying these things from China, like rebranding them, and yeah, it was really insane.
That's so sick.
So when I learned that, I was just like, fuck, like there's nothing more attractive to me than like a woman who like just like really like is so like, I don't know how to word it correctly, but it's just like just really knows her shit and has like really thrived in business and like knows where they want to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, because in so many like prior relationships, it was like I felt like I was like some weird like father figure, and I fucking hated that.
Like having to like feel like you have to like foster
Like
this
and
to-
teach you the way, and here's like someone who's like
flip the script on you.
do it this way, and completely right. Yeah, so we were staying together, and then yeah, that's kind of how we met. But it's crazy. What like maybe 4 months in, she was like doing consulting, and she was like, I want to help with Spaghetti Boys, and I was like,
Pivotal moment, by the way.
pivotal moment. A lot of people don't know this. We had just had this like the world's worst pop-up of all time, and it was at 801 Mateo Street. Edison Chen funded it.
I remember that.
The clothing Illuminati god. He is like the like the dark lord of like streetwear. Like he's like a demon. So he was like, yo, like that prior story. Anyways, we were in LA. We did this pop-up. It was 24 hours a day for 5 days, Luka. 5 days. We had these Mexicans fresh paint all the walls yellow. It was the first pop-up. Virgil, out of the kindness of his heart, gave me a second collab, which I like and still thankful to this day because I don't know why he did it. This collab was released in this pop-up. Almost nobody saw it. Whoever has that shirt, like it's the rare shirt, because the way this pop-up was set up was so terrible.
So terrible.
We didn't know what we were doing. You flew in just for it
I can't.
and helped out for it
my-
again. You were like coming to help us.
And I slept. Remember that I slept on that like this little hospital bed. They had like an actual hospital bed in the pop-up. I don't know why you had that.
Yeah.
And I slept on there. And then that night I also crashed Nitin's car into. I'll get into that story later.
Yeah. Anyways, so we did this pop-up. The brand was going nowhere fast. Nowhere fast. Austin, again, quit Spaghetti Boys when he saw that the pop-up didn't work. Because that was it. It was just like, I would only see him when we were doing good. We would do, because if shit wasn't moving, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
For Spaghetti Boys. And it was just me and Ray. And me trying to guide this fucking ship and not know anything. And move out of the camera. It was crazy. Because it was like, how the fuck do I do this? And so we weren't releasing anything. Like what we had was Virgil Heron, then we had the Bernie Sanders tee, then we had the Changes tee, then it was all like shirts. We didn't have a real drop. The LA one was the first one where we had sweatpants and all that. It was going terrible. The manufacturers wouldn't give us our shirts. Shit was going off the wall crazy. Yo, I was stranded in LA. Yo, let me tell you. I was stranded in LA, bro, for 3 months, sleeping on like everyone's couch. Everyone, bro.
Everybody in the culture's couch.
$0. Like, made it through 3 months, and then I was like, oh, but I gotta do the pop-up. The last time I got the fucking pop-up, we didn't make any money in profit. Nothing. And if we did, it was like a couple $100. So I had nothing. My way of getting out of LA on the last day of the pop-up, I get this hit up from Zach from Apartment 200 in Canada, and he's like, yo, there's this like Perrier like party we're doing, you can DJ for it and do some kind of art installation with Spaghetti Boys. Ray Austin nowhere to be found.
No way.
So it's
Correct.
just me, and I need to get out of LA because at this point I'm going batshit crazy. I end up going to Toronto, and I came up. They wanted me to like put photos on the wall, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I went to Walmart and got like these inflatables and like filled this like niche nightclub with them, and then I DJ'd and I made $5,000, and that I was like, thank God. Fucking went home. Nobody wanted to help me. Not my brothers, not anyone in my family. I was just stranded. So I go back to New York. Right now I'm back on my New York shit. And a couple months later, that's when I meet Aaron.
Yeah.
So I was like completely like just fucked, but also on the verge of like fixing my life. Like nothing was working. And it was insane because I was putting my heart in so much and pushing so hard for this thing, but it seemed like nobody else wanted it. When I met Erin, so 4 months later, out of her experience of becoming a self-made millionaire, and then but going through the tax troubles and losing everything and rebuilding, we were on that same page. Mentally, it was so beautiful, and I think actually that was more attractive to me when I met Erin. That she was someone who got everything and then lost it, and I don't know how fucked up that sounds. But it's just someone
It's relatable though.
It's relatable. It's someone who put their heart and soul in something so hard to the point where they were put in the dirt, left with no one. And that's how I felt when I met her. And that's why we had that connection. Because it's here are these two just fucking power drives, meeting each other and clashing and feeling that. And yeah, that was one of the most beautiful things ever. 3 months in, 4 months, 3 months, she's like, I want to help with Spaghetti Boys. I'm like, don't touch it. I want to close it down. No one needs to see this shit again. It's a fucking hamster wheel. We fucking suck. She's like, well, what do you guys have? We had these leftover Japan graphics because we were gonna go with some scammer to Japan and do this pop-up. We had them left over. And Erin was like, all right, well, look, she made this whole Google Doc of financials, and she was like, we can make 30K in 1 month like this. Wrote out every single number, every single tally, all of it, and put the designs in this worksheet where it would work of putting it out.
Was that your first time seeing structure and something like that?
The first, bro, because no one teaches you this, bro, and everyone thinks you just make a T-shirt and you become Virgil, and Virgil has his masters, bro. Aaron has his masters. These people are fucking smart ass people.
Fact.
This isn't you also put years into this shit. So anyways, she shows me that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Brings in this this tech web guy from LA, steals him from Young Jake's circle, puts him in our apartment. So now it's a 1 room apartment. He's sleeping in the living room. And he's moved in now. And he's supposed to be doing web. So she's like, he could work on Spaghetti Boys. Literally put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
We start sitting down, having these meetings with Austin, Ray, Corey now, who's working in web. And we're doing this shit and it's working. We do the first drop, it went amazing. Everyone was supporting it. And finally, we're finally starting to reap benefits of working hard. And it's because it's structured and yeah, it's not just, oh, let's just do this spastically. We were actually making money. Aaron was like, you know Rossi from Milk. Why don't you hit up Rossi and ask if you can get a desk at Milk Studios.
Fact.
I hit up Rossi, he gives me the basement. We're working out of the jam room in Milk.
The office.
And he gave us that, and that was it was so much that changed in my life because of Aaron. And yeah. And I feel well, the group is on a hiatus now. It got to the point where we were pushing so hard, but there's only so much you can push for a team of 5 to have everything they ever wanted. And it's more on what they want. And yeah, I don't know. I still think about that to this day because I get the people say the you change thing or it's no, you kind of you grow. Not only you don't grow apart because we didn't grow apart. It was we are becoming adults. We have to make this real. And yeah, there's no we're putting out so much shit. It's you gotta keep going. And yeah, so we just got on a hiatus, and honestly, for me, shit didn't get as amazing. I didn't see things clearly till I was able to do it on my own, and like realize that I could have been just like doing shit on my own.
Yeah.
And like you don't know your self-value until you're like kind of left alone.
Yeah, because you were always you were never depending on anyone.
Dependent. It was just like I need to come in with a team.
Yeah.
So if there's an L, I'm not.
You were always trying to carry mad people.
Of course.
But you didn't have the infrastructure or knowledge at the time. I
had enough knowledge to get us in the room. I had enough knowledge to know where we needed to go.
Exactly.
But I didn't know the.
And you had the willpower to like carry through it and do it.
And I did it for everyone.
But you couldn't do that forever. So I think that's why it's such a pivotal moment when you met Aaron too, and why like a lot of people ended up like, getting mad at you or getting mad at Aaron saying you changed. But the reason I think, obviously we're still friends. I was one of the only people that was like, you did. Yes, nigga, finally you changed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, this was the thing, because at the time you were the only other person that was like really succeeding and traveling the world and like seeing the fruits of life that you can get when you're like focused and shit. So you related on that schedule. You were tired of just seeing me broke.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that shit.
Yeah, no. And it was like, now we're really putting our ideas into fruition and it's working. It's like, take that and run with it.
Like when people started seeing you being professional, they like were getting pissed. It's this, that, the third, saying like, oh, this nigga's mad. And now it's like, bro, like him being broke isn't sick. If you actually care about him, you should be happy for him, about him like working this hard.
There's this thing with like artists where it's like, okay, so
they want to see you struggle.
Huh?
They want to see you struggle.
Well, no, not even that. There's people like maybe like Jim Joe or like Neckface.
Yeah.
Where you can bring up where like they can have such a, or even Aphex Twin.
Yeah.
Where they can have such a hard underground following to the point of like, okay, you can be sick for the rest of your life for the New York people that are into that shit, or you can actually fucking just like do everything and not take that into consideration and let it stop you. A lot of people think too hard of what the public is gonna say. So everything they do has to be like this rare thing. Everything they do has to be mystique and fucking vague. It's like, no, my vision was to just produce the greatest shit, was to just show that it is possible to fucking be in the projects from Harlem, drop out of high school, and then build this fucking machine.
Yeah.
And get in the doors and break in at fucking all costs and risk everything. But like, yeah, that was more my drive and what I stood for, and that's what happened. I've never talked about it. It's something I don't like talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like something I really like just need to get off my chest. I feel like, yeah, it's really crazy. One of the most beautiful things, though, was like finding out I was gonna be a father, and finding out Erin was pregnant. And I think when I found that out, it kind of just inspired me to like just go like just turbo.
Yeah. I mean, your priorities completely changed when you found out you were like about to be a father. This nigga, you went like full blown tunnel, like, fuck all this extra shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
I mean, you're already on some like no fuckery shit, but then it was like no space for even like a breath of fuckery once you found out you're about to be a father.
It's so amazing.
Like not even a speck of fuckery.
It's so crazy. So crazy.
I mean, that's what's so sick. Like, and so much people were doubting you too. Like, this nigga's gonna be a father. Like,
yeah.
You know, everybody was like, Kerwin's gonna be a dad. Like, bro, how? It's like you. First off, you have no clue what he's been doing if you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
Two, like, you had already changed such drastically, and like that only made you more focused.
Yeah.
But like, now I think now people are starting to understand like, oh, this nigga's actually like serious about this shit.
It's crazy when I think about it. I feel like I kind of get off on like having to prove people wrong, and when I got like the pencil face tattoo, it was really a commitment to like, I'm gonna do this like with a pencil on my face. I'm gonna like I was a dickhead with the pencil on my face until I started like killing shit to people.
Yeah.
Or like people will see me as like an influencer or like a face and just not think that you could like break that. I feel like I always, even when I started like seeing Aaron, it was like, no, you can be happy in a relationship and talk about it openly. this game doesn't just have to be male dominated dudes who like just jump around like at parties like this. You know what I mean? Like you can be in love and have a work structure and like really be passionate about what you're doing. And I feel like even with having a daughter, it's the same thing. It's like you still can keep killing it. Like having a kid doesn't shut down your life. No. At all. It's the same way being in love doesn't.
I mean, tell me if I'm wrong with it. I get, like, a lot of people do think, obviously, like, you lose your life when you have a kid, but it's not. I think from the way I've seen it and look at it, it's like it's a new chapter, and also it's just time management.
It's time management. 100%.
It teaches you how to grow up. Like, you could still have a kid and have a life. There's plenty of people that have a kid and have a life. I mean, I hate to bring it up every 2 seconds, but like even Virgil, for example, has a full-blown family. But any second he has to go back to, like, he left on Sunday night straight back to Chicago to see. You know what I mean? Like, so
Matthew Williams, who will bring a league to a show.
Exactly. Like, he brings his family everywhere. So it's like there's no excuse. You don't lose your life when you have a kid. You just grow with your family, and if anything, it's sick that you get to expose your family to that stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited.
It's insane. You're gonna be the godfather.
That's true. Official announcement. Waffle's godfather. I will make sure to be at my best.
Like, your godfather to you is like what you're gonna be to Waffle.
That's so crazy.
That's so crazy.
That's insane. I can't believe it.
Yeah. It's so gonna be insane.
Whatchamacallit, when's the current Frost Waffle Frost talks? We need the Waffle Frost interview.
It's coming in the summer. It's coming in the summer.
At the hospital?
At the hospital.
With the mic. It's so like still crying. So like,
what's
how
the energy in there?
So you spent 9 months inside of Aaron.
What do you think of the Kardashian Christmas party? What do you think of Coachella?
Like, did you like Cara Bonito? Like, tell me. That was fire.
Tell me. Tell me about your dog Turbo. Cause it's like you had this dog and he kind of went MIA. You never saw him again.
Yeah. So Turbo, I had gotten with my ex, and at the time it seemed like a great idea. It was a great idea. It was a beautiful dog. And tell me this, right? So, you know, Grownish.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and film Grownish.
Yeah.
And I'm busy, you know, I'm busy. By the way, by that time, we're broken up. Right. My dad's like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of this dog. Yeah. I'm gonna take care of it, right? Come to find out, one day I like go back to New York. I'm like, where's Turbo?
Right.
He's like, oh, I gave him away to like a family in Georgia.
Wow.
Whoa. I was really pissed because I didn't get the chance to figure out if he was like, yo, either you figure out how to take care of your dog.
Yeah, or we can give it away.
I would have obviously figured out a way to take care of my dog.
Yeah.
I would have like brought him to the chateau, or, you know what I mean? Like, they're dog friendly here, bro. Like, I would just, you know what I mean? I was really pissed, and it was really annoying, but.
Do you feel like you would ever forgive your dad for doing that?
I mean, he's my dad. I mean, it's mad annoying, and I'm always gonna hold him accountable for that. And every time
you look at a dog, you'll think of Turbo.
Yeah, or anytime he says anything about like a pet animal, like I like make him feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's starting to sink in because he's just like instead of like trying to come up with an excuse.
Right. Do you feel like what are some of the craziest sacrifices that you've had to make, like, due to your career?
Ooh. I mean, sacrifices that we both made, I think, was, you know, separating ourselves from a lot of people. And, like, we kind of went over it, I think, a little bit in the last episode, where it's just, like, hanging out with like all those gormless stoners, or like hanging out with all these people, even if they're not like that, like, you know, like drug addicts or this, that, like some people are so toxic to your like to your personal life, and they keep a very toxic relationship, what makes it hard for you to focus and hard for you to like be on your like A1 shit. And like, you know, people are always more comfortable with stuff that they know, so it's so hard to always separate yourself from like somebody that you're super tight with.
Yeah, but then realizing that time is like extremely valuable.
Yeah.
And you get to that age of feeling like that, and there's almost nothing you can do about it, because you really have to kind of just grow.
Yeah.
And they should be growing with you.
Exactly. It's like, you know,
Like, I feel like we grew together.
yeah, because we always supportive of each other, and even when we were at different levels, we always try to like see how we could help each
How we
other,
can support each other.
instead of being like, you know what I mean? Like so much people, like it'd be too many like friends are like more annoyed by your success than like happy and trying to like also get there.
Yeah.
Like when you saw me do sick shit, you were always like super proud of me, and you're like, even during fashion, I was like, you should come out to fashion. Remember when I was gonna take you out as my bodyguard?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you're like, and then when you were, and then next thing you know, you actually fucking went to Fashion Week on your own, got your own bag there, like figured it out. Like, you know, this is the thing. It's like with someone, you can only carry people so much, and you can't help people that don't want to help themselves. And you should always be your own priority. You can't put other people in the forefront unless it's obviously Aaron and Walt, you know what I mean? Like that's your direct family.
Right.
But it's like so much people just had to go.
Right,
I mean, that's sacrifices you made too. Like, like, all right, like I tried to do this shit for fucking years, but I gotta go. Like, I'm gonna keep going. I don't know what y'all niggas about to do. Y'all complaining over there. I'm about to go over there. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, this is a part of the interview where it's like part one is mad nostalgic and sweet.
Yeah.
And then that's
but part two, reality hits.
Reality hits.
Like, 100%.
Like, not everybody, you know, we talk about where all this shit started, but a lot of people didn't make it up to this point.
Didn't make it up to this point because so much got in their way. They got in their own way. Yeah.
And like, other sacrifice I had to make, I guess, was like, I mean, just for, you know, even business sacrifices. I'm not gonna talk about deals, but you know, there's certain predicaments where it's like this job or this job.
Right.
You know, I could make a shit ton of money doing this, but will I look corny? Or can I build a relationship with this brand for less money?
Yeah.
And then times where like, you know.
How do you feel about like, do you ever like want to be normal? Yes and no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day I definitely want to go back to, you know, but it sounds pretentious, right?
Yeah, because everyone would say that, but it's like.
But it's like, yo, people forget how exhausting it gets to like. And the thing is, I'm not even that famous.
No.
Right? Like there's.
And I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I said even earlier, like, why?
Yeah, like we're not even celebrities, but it's like we're public figures.
Yeah.
That, you know, we're part of this culture and this scene, and it's like, holy shit, man! Like this is, you know, the kids might not understand this, and they're gonna like comment like the most annoying shit.
I was gonna say that. The comment, such a sad story.
It's like, I love like eating.
Yeah.
And like hanging out with people uninterrupted, which is something that we all used to be able to do.
Yeah.
But it's like, back to you said, but even it's like you're having a meal, and it's like some random fucking person like feels like they know you because they see you on the internet and they like want to sit down and talk to you, and it's like, or even dumb shit are like just little things. I mean, sometimes it's advantages because like we're at a place and like we'll get like Sometimes I go to Pickberry and the person has the fan and I get free yogurt.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's
$6
sweet.
off.
The same way it's sweet sometimes. Yeah, but it's just a thought,
It's
like,
sweet,
like, thanks for the yogurt, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's tight. But it's advantages the same way it's disadvantages, because sometimes it feels like we have no privacy, like,
Yeah.
you know. And I can only imagine how bad it is for actual celebrities, bro.
Yeah.
Holy shit, like people that get followed by paparazzi. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
like we try to like go to stores and like walk around our own city, or like even drive around LA and like have meals, and we can't
Yeah.
like catch a break.
No.
And I just miss when I was like,
And the connection, I think on my side is even, also with you, you can definitely relate to this, is like even more on the family side.
Mhm.
And you start losing ways of like normal communication with your family.
yeah, like I rarely talk to my family.
You rarely do.
I mean, you know, like I try to, like, you know, I don't talk to my mom close to as much as I should.
Yeah.
I'm not always texting my dad back. It's like,
But do you think that's because of the weird energy of like your success or your earnings just making it off? Because in their heads now it's like Luka, my son, but also Luka, the superstar.
yeah. And you start to feel bad, and it becomes like ICC, which means I could cry.
I could cry.
But it's like, because these are the people that like do like think about you, that are related to you, that care about you and shit. And it's like sometimes you like catch yourself not thinking about them.
Yeah.
But that's because there's like, this sounds so fucked up, but it's like, we, to a lot of family members, we are what they're looking at all day, like, because they're so proud of us, like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, Luka, blah, blah, blah. But we're outside doing this shit, and we have to think about this person, and that person, and that meeting, and that thing we gotta do later.
Yeah.
But also, like, how do I feel? What am I gonna do?
How do I feel eternally?
Yeah, it's like, this shit is a lot to handle. And it's like, you know, the scene right now is like such a crazy place. I can't tell if it's at its peak or it's still peaking, but there's like 1,000,001 things happening, and we're all like the same way we've all had pivotal moments up to this point. This is every day is the most pivotal moment now.
Yeah.
Because we're in a weird climate of like, this is the first time any of this shit has happened.
Right.
In terms of the scene, in terms of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so you could be a photographer and like a designer and like this, but you could also like be an actor and be a singer and like be a fucking sculptor, like.
Right.
But you could also not be any of those things and just be on the internet and also make money off that.
Yeah.
But how do you separate? Sometimes it's hard to even separate an influencer from an actual artist.
Yeah, right.
Because
now it's looked at as a demeaning term.
Yeah.
That's kinda
and
like
it's all
what it's
pushed
at.
on the same platform.
The same platform.
They're not in different places.
No.
So it's like, what the fuck is going on?
What's the meaning? What the hell is going on?
Yeah. That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're all experiencing something new. We don't know what's about to happen. I mean, we're trying to make the culture as we go.
Yeah.
But we're using the information we have around us, which is also all brand new.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so like having a brand now is completely different than having a brand back then.
Yeah.
There's like literally tiers of brands. Like the fact that some people are like, oh yeah, I have a t-shirt brand. Like, not streetwear.
Yeah, no.
Not merch, a t-shirt brand.
Okay, but tell me how you got into acting, bitch. The real story. You always wanted to act. I remember reading scripts with you in your home. And now you're a full-blown actor. You're like... Yeah, I know I asked the question and then I say something right after it, but that's because I'm like thinking as I talk. You are one of the first people that I've seen that could like read lines. I could read like a whole paragraph, and then after saying it twice, you just have it down pat. It was one of the most amazing things I've seen when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Because you majored, you wanted you were doing acting in high school too.
Mm-hmm. A little bit prior.
Yeah.
Well, Like,
How does it feel? Because now you're in a set.
yeah, that shit's
And
crazy.
you're an actor.
I'm an actor?
Yes, you're an actor.
Okay.
Because people don't really understand that you're a growing actor, and now you're in a new movie, and that's you, and you're also in Greenwich, that's you, and you have some other things happening, and that's you.
That's big. Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is just like, no, but you don't understand. Like when you act, like.
No, because
But there's like people you don't understand. Like there's rappers like I used to rap, and I used to always say, when I spit, I spit.
no, but
Go ahead, tell me.
all right. So, but the origin story. Me wanting to act as my my uncle, who had died on my 3rd birthday. Never really knew him, but his name is Tara Omer, and he was an actor. And I remember like hearing all about him, but then like seeing him on the TV and in movies, and I'd be like, "Yo, this is him."
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? He's not dead. He's right here.
Right.
So I kind of like the concept of like being able. Yeah, it's
so sweet.
It comes from a sweet, dark place.
Jesus.
And then,
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's deep.
yeah.
Wow.
So then I was like, I want to be an actor too. And then I got super into movies as a kid.
Yeah.
And then my dad put me in the New York Film Academy when he lived on, I think we talked about it, when he lived on 14th Street, when he was managing this bar, and he was like, he had like 3 jobs. And then the New York Film Academy was directly next to this bar that he managed, and he took me there.
Yeah.
I took acting classes, and then I took acting classes with this woman called Sheila Gray. That's where I met the other girl that shot for Hot Mess, Chelsea Lopez. But then for high school, when I moved to America, I also still thought I wanted to be an actor. I didn't know I wanted to be in fashion yet.
What?
Because from a European perspective, I was looking at America, also American dream shit.
Right.
I'm gonna move to America and become an actor.
Right. No, that's
You
fine.
know? And then obviously like what happened in New York completely changed. So I went to Lord Manhattan's Arts Academy, which was like a sick school. Honestly, I'm so glad I went to that shitty public school.
Mm-hmm.
It taught me so much and like made me into like a real human, you know?
Yeah.
And like experiencing like just a crazy shit like an LES, like
Yeah. Deep down, you're a hood LES kid.
yeah. So I took the drama major, and then 2 years in, I was like already like starting to get into this fashion. I was like, man, fuck this acting shit. I'm off this, but I gotta finish school.
Right.
So
And I'm starting to get into my face.
starting to get into my drip. So fuck it, man. I was just like, but then I ended up acting because I ran into Kenya Barris, a classic story. I ran into him at Soho House in Beckett Chateau when I was in Haiti, working on that unrelated garments thing, trying to raise money for Haiti. And he got on the phone with us and was like, "Yo, like, we want Luka in the show.
Yeah.
We want to write him in as a guest star.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have a role, but we'll make him a role right now,
Mm-hmm.
just because he fucked with my energy."
So cool.
And I was like, you know, I'm always, I mean, the same reason I started Hot Mess, so the same reason I was trying to do something new. Either it was like, you know, the second Hot Mess, we tried to make that installation, or like just trying to like do new things with books or et cetera, et cetera. It's like, I'm not mad at a new venture.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, this is what I wanted to do as a kid. Like, why not try it now if the opportunity falls on my lap?
Yeah. Well, especially with all the contacts you have now. But even aside from that, it's like, I never really got to pursue this.
Yeah. So then I was like, fuck it, let me try this out. And I did, and like I people like fucking loved it. And it's pretty crazy because it's like I didn't. And then the season after that, it's like season 2 now. It's like I kind of turned into like a main character by popular demand.
Yeah. Well, unbiasedly, I watch a show and I'm just like, damn. Like, like that's Luka. Like you really are like the most captivating person on the show, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really just play yourself so well, and people don't understand that like playing yourself isn't that easy.
Yeah.
It really isn't, because you have to find the good things about your attributes and then kind of like spit them out in this way.
Like,
but also you're a stoner on the show, which like isn't true
So,
in
yeah.
real life. But you mix your character into that, and it's like a more kind of like,
it's like finding the gray area of like, like, how do I like how do I make myself more palatable for a larger audience by keeping my integrity, but also like being this character? Because this isn't Luka Sabbat, this is Luka Hall. So there's got to be a slight separation for you to understand that these are two different people.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just be, now I want to act and start doing new things where I'm like completely a different person.
Yeah, right.
And that's the thing with like Grownish.
It was kind of dipping your toes in the sand.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. Oh, I now actually just understand what you're trying to say, but it's
people
like,
normally say water.
But it's like now mad people.
But imagine dipping your toes in the sand.
It's nice and warm.
Yeah.
And then so.
But now you want to break out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, but everybody like.
And dip it in the cold water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm getting all these offers to like do kind of the same thing I'm already doing, but I really want to challenge myself.
Yeah, because you don't want to be typecasted.
Yeah, like I don't want to be the chill, cool stoner kid.
Yeah.
For the rest of my career in terms of acting, like I want to like fucking change my hair. I want to fucking branch out, become a new person, method act, But it's hard. It's like, I'm gonna have to maybe do like a few indie movies and like, but I'm down to do like low budget shit, like. Because I've also set the infrastructure of being able to like do things that don't pay that much.
Yeah.
But then that, hopefully if I do that kind of stuff, it'll catapult me to a new level of like, to new heights in terms of acting.
Are you gonna take improv classes?
I already did that, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. I think this is long enough.
Wait, so you and Yara really like are going out in real life?
Huh?
Yara from Grownish.
Yara Shahidi?
Team Zuka?
I'm Team Zuka. Thanks for tuning in.
Luka, thanks so much for coming on my show.
Of course.
I love you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're the greatest friend a guy could have.
Vice versa.
Thank you, Bruce. Kerwin talks.
Luka Sabbat answers. Well, no, this episode was a bit like Luka talks.
Luka talks.
To Kerwin. And he talks too.
Yeah. And we talk together.
We talk.
Under any weather.
Under any weather. Check you later.
Check you later. What are you doing after this? What are you doing after this, Bruce?
I have a meeting with an actress because I want her to be potentially part of the script that I'm working on, like the film.
Thank you. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you later.
Ciao.
Ciao.